Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time for some good old Saturday morning React Tunes as we watch Robotech episode 38. False start. I haven't really even started the Southern Cross saga yet because our last episode, Dana's story, was predominantly a flashback episode where she retold the relationship beginnings of her parents, Max and Miria. So I'm really ready to get into full bore this arc of the tale. So friends, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted next time we go live with Robotech or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description, my friends. But all that is then, and this is now. And now it's time for Robotech episode 38, False Start. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Fanfare! That was a bad one. My allergies are kicking in. I did that and my throat was like, what are you doing? What part of you thought that was going to be a good idea? All right, friends, so I'm going to ask this now that we're at the top of this part of the series. Do we refer to this as Robotech Masters? I'm assuming, since that's the title. Or is it colloquially called something else? Like, Southern Cross, or, because we had Robotech Macross, and this seems to be Robotech Masters. But what do you all call it? I really like that steed and that shot there of like aiming right down the barrel. It's cool. Someone told me that these things that they're riding are hover tanks, I think.
I didn't know you cared.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Sterling.
And there she is, everybody.
To the cutest second lieutenant of the Tactical Armored Corps.
Oh, because that's professional.
Angelo, don't think I'm tough enough?
Take that torn ACL, Angelo.
Fall in for inspection.
Well, you fuckers didn't see that coming, did you?
However, I think I can whip you guys into shape, so prepare to move out. Do you have something on your mind, Angie?
Oh, Angie, I love it.
Well, if you say so, Lieutenant.
If you have a problem, Sergeant, I'd like to know about it.
Yeah, how about you go to the brig with your former superior officer?
Southern Cross is on yellow alert. What if something happens and we're not here?
Well, Sergeant, in that case, I suggest that you sit here and wait.
Yeah, Angelo, if something happens, you run out there.
She's acting like this is a big picnic. I just hope she doesn't get us all into trouble.
Well, you're acting like it's a frat house, dickhead. Well, I could see me dying on one of those things real quick. And if I didn't die on the ladder down, I'm killing myself on one of these things.
Whoever said a drill couldn't be fun?
I actually like the animation quite a bit. We've done a hell of a lot of rebuilding in 15 years.
All this commanding sure is a lot of work.
It seems like it.
A squad of hovercycles pull into an airbase near Monument City, the vast military-industrial complex built next to the remains of the fallen space battle fortress.
Oh, really? This is the city around the SDF-1?
But, Lieutenant, my squad has often been cited for excellence during training maneuvers, and I'm sure that under my command they're going to be better than ever.
Well, no amount of training can prepare you for the real thing.
Well, that's not really true.
How about a cup of coffee? Sure, that'll be fine.
Hey, how about a knife?
I always say
There we go, Bowie.
The little ones want to play rough.
Hell yeah, there's my guy.
All right, that's enough. Now you're gonna
Bowie's a
get
hothead. I'm down with it.
You won't! Stop this immediately!
I mean, a pipe shot. Oh! Oh, that poor bastard with the coffee. He's in the sharpshooter. Boston Crab. Oh, man. That's a good shot, too, with the police coming in.
We'll finish this later.
So that's going to be like the rival group. I kind of like that already. Okay, so I'm thinking these mechs are more like the Iron Man suit as opposed to like a full-size Valkyrie, right? was gonna say, if they say that she hurt that thing, then we really haven't built it well.
Let me get my hands on that rotten kid.
That guy is galled or something, man, because he is walking.
Well, maybe go home now. Useless junk.
Interesting choice with that character design. I can't grow a mustache, but by God, I'm growing a handlebar. What in the absolute...
Hey, you want to be my friend? Because it looks like we're both going to be out in the cold tonight.
If you explain to me what the hell that thing is, yeah.
I'll never get promoted. I'm busted. Oh. Oh, well, at least I can dream about it.
I thought they said she was lieutenant, then she introduced herself as a sergeant. Now she's homeless?
Huh?
Well, good morning.
Well, Lieutenant, how have you been? You're out early.
We're here to kill you.
Dana accompanies the military police to the brig.
She accompanies them, right. Sure, I'll walk with you to the brig.
Controls the tremendous flow of information, vital to the security of the planet from every conceivable outpost on the Earth and beyond.
I'm actually really liking this. And the surprise is meant to be there. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I have so far.
It seems as though somebody is trying to tamper with one of our communication satellites. But who can it be and where are they coming from?
Really?
Sir, according to the computers, we can expect the intruder to intercept Earth orbit in exactly 2 hours.
Wow.
Colonel Johnson, what's taking so long? Haven't you got anything yet?
One moment, sir.
It looked like an asteroid.
Sir, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Well, I've only got one thing to say. Whatever it is, it looks like they mean business.
All communications with the satellite have been completely disrupted.
All right then, switch to ground radar.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Rochelle.
A lot of names.
If there's Entrati, do you really think we stand much of a chance against them?
Don't worry, we're set.
But sir, we don't.
We drove them from the Earth once before, and we'll do it again.
You don't have the SDF-1. Lest we forget, the Zentradi handed our asses to us before we got the SDF-1 out there.
Elite army of powerful bioroids.
That's right, bioroids. We saw that in Sentinels. And by the way, the Masters made it in 5 years less than what they said they would. They said it would take 20.
After all I did was knock over that dumb old police robot by accident. Well, almost by accident. Not too bad for 10 days. Huh?
Did she say 10 days?
Your first day in charge was a disgrace to the service. First, you go for a joyride during a yellow alert. Then you willfully damage police property, and the complaints are still coming in from the private sector.
And if I could just change my clothes, maybe a manicure or something.
It's obvious I'm dealing with a moron.
Why does this guy sound like Chiron?
Dana, the daughter of Miria and Max Sterling. Well, I don't care who your parents were. You are a disgrace.
I promise from now on I'll be a model soldier and follow all the rules. I'll never disgrace my family name ever again.
Well, I'll consider it then.
I mean, they locked her up for that, and I've seen people do some way worse shit.
Don't tell me you made a pass at a general's wife.
Nah, the prison hasn't been made that can hold me, besides which I'm getting out tomorrow.
Come on, Phillips, hurry it up.
Phillips, is that the guy that was arrested?
I wouldn't trust either of them, Nova, not even for a moment. And make sure I have hourly reports on the girl's whereabouts.
I missed that guy's name, too, the one that sounds like Chiron. I'm gonna call him Chiron from now.
A huge spacecraft of unknown origin was detected as it entered our quadrant from hyperspace.
Now, can you imagine that? 15 years after having the Earth wiped out, you hear that news brief? If that doesn't liquefy your bowels, I don't know what would.
It is imperative that we find out first who they are, and if possible, what has brought them to our planet. We cannot be the first ones to fire.
But they bombed our base and killed our men, General Emerson.
You don't know that yet.
Proof do we have that Luna didn't bring the attack on itself by firing first?
I like Emerson. He's got a cool head. We need that in this this show.
Hasn't the command come through yet, Sparks?
No, sir, nothing.
If those generals would stop sitting on their hands.
We're seeing a lot of command here, from like the generals down to like the different like battalion commanders. I kind of like that a lot.
You have them on radar yet?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's got him.
Knock out the mothership first.
Nice job, Sparks.
What's wrong? Why aren't you firing?
But, sir, headquarters said that we should...
You idiot! We'll be sitting ducks here. Get out!
Oh, now see, this is why you need cooler heads. I mean, now, technically, if you're coming in peace, you should probably be saying, hey, everybody, do you mind if we land on your planet? So this isn't completely without merit here. It's breaking orders, but... That did Jack and shit, and Jack just left town.
We have a missile launch report, sir. Heavy damage sustained by the enemy craft. It's been immobilized.
Oh, never mind. Oh, shit.
Dana should see some action. Probably do it good, too. Now, let's see what we can do to guarantee it, hmm?
I like the Nova model with, like, the headset.
Fire!
I see they still haven't perfected the guidance systems on their rockets. We're gonna fire 100. One of them might hit. These are the bioids, aren't they? Bioroids? Bioroids.
Can you believe it? All this terrific talent being wasted just because our officers are in the brig.
I don't get it. Why don't they put you in command, Corporal Dante?
That's Angelo?
You gotta remember, this isn't one of Dana's drills. We could get wounded or even killed out there.
Oh, he's a lot of tough talk when he's not in charge.
Fall in!
Oh, they can't be serious about this. I thought you were in for 30 days.
Wrong again.
Wrong again, dickhead. Let's go.
Never die trying.
Yes, ma'am. But dying under the command of a ditzy teenager isn't exactly the way I'd hope to go out.
Cool, Angelo. Head on over to the brig. Hi, I'm Angelo. I'm gonna speak my mind. Hi, I'm Warp Reactor. I'm gonna die every time I get onto one of those things.
I'll show them I've got what it takes.
Go get him, Dana.
Yeah, now this is where I belong.
Really? You're like the most indecisive fucker out here, man. Or do you go to the school of Rick Hunter?
Here they are! Our guys need some help! Let's move!
I kind of like that helmet. I'd say they do. Those bioroids are absolutely tearing through them. Come on, Dana. So that must be their half mode? That's cool. Ooh, right between the whatevers. Oh, shit.
All right, show them what you've got, Dana. Switch to Battloid mode, now!
Here we go. So that's their guardian. I love it. I love it. Oh, that is cool as shit. She spins off the perch. I really like that design. That is really cool. All right, fuckers.
Now it's your turn.
Listen, this is the kid of Max and Miria. I expect big things. And that's not fair, but I do.
We've got to keep him occupied. Give me some covering fire, Louis.
You got it, Lieutenant.
Let him up, Louis. Oh, that's actually really good covering fire.
Watch out!
Oh, they're getting the hell out of here.
We did it, Lieutenant. Not bad for a bunch of novices.
Yeah, but you lost two. Two that I saw.
All stations are back down to yellow alert and awaiting further orders.
We know the protoculture supply was our objective, gentlemen. Damage report?
We contained the fighting to unpopulated areas.
Minimal losses thanks to Tactical Armored Squad 15.
Tactical Armored Squad.
Lieutenant Dana Sterling led the squad today because Captain Phillips is still in the brig.
Dana, yes.
Dana, yes. So Captain Phillips is usually in charge of TAS-15.
And yes, sir, I can imagine how boring life must have been without me.
Actually, we kicked a little ass.
According to staff directive, Lieutenant Phillips has been demoted to private second class.
What? Holy shit!
You have been directed to take command of the 15th Squadron, Lieutenant Sterling.
What do you mean, Lieutenant? I thought I was headed for the stockade.
Phillips got fucking thunder busted.
Dana's mysterious flashbacks return to haunt her. Visions of alien beings she has never seen.
Really? Ooh, I wonder if that was something that like maybe Miria, passed down from her Zentradi heritage. All right, everybody, we just got done watching Robotech Masters, episode 38, False Start, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just got done watching Robotech, episode 38, False Start. I thought this was there's a lot of people they introduced, but I could see who the principals are. But, we've got like Sparks and people like that. And I always like to know like everybody because, I'm again, comparisons back to Macross, but, the bridge crew were three of my favorite characters. And so you could say that they were, supplemental characters or secondary characters or whatnot. So I always like to make sure that I'm paying attention to the names and everything because I really like the supporting characters in these shows. Now, does that carry over to Southern Cross or Masters? I'm not sure. But so far, full disclosure, I enjoy the shit out of this episode. I thought it was a very solid episode. I thought they gave us a ton of information, really kind of set up what the Earth is like right now, really kind of set up like the response network that the Earth Defense Forces would, deploy whenever we saw Tactical Armored Squad 15. That's okay. So let's start talking about the characters. We'll learn the characters. There's a couple of them that, we've obviously explored a little bit more than others, predominantly Dana. Now, I can see where Dana might be a polarizing figure, or people might look at that and be like, oh my God, she's ditzy. She's exactly what Angelo said she was. But the thing is, if you look at Max and you look at Max Moore, Max always had that childlike quality to him, always. He's playing video games. He's just having fucking fun up there. He was always kind of a fun-loving, he was a lighthearted spirit. So seeing Dana act like that it's not a deal breaker at all for me. In fact, it's kind of refreshing. It reminds me a little bit of her pop, and so I like it. Now if it could get too much, I could see that. I think it could become like her personality could be a little too much. But I think for a central character like they did a really good job of kind of, really letting us get to know her a little bit. I think there was some confusion in either the dialogue editing or whatnot, because I was pretty sure that they said that she was already promoted to lieutenant at the beginning of the episode, and she introduced herself as a sergeant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard that. But I thought Dana was a really good character. I thought that, like the introduction to her was well done, with the exception of that, her title, her whatever her rank would happen to be. I think Bowie coming through and absolutely flattening that guy is probably my favorite part of the episode, where it's like, hey, you want to know a little bit about Bowie? Here you go. He just out of nowhere, crack. That was a really cool looking fight too, by the way. That one guy was in like the Boston Crab. I mean, they went all out with that bar fight, and I kind of like that quite a bit. I think for me, the star of the episode, other than a really, really well done, storyboarded, trip around the horn type of thing, like, hey, we've been gone for 15 years. Here's what to expect. Monument City, built beside the wreckage of the SDF-1, and I'm assuming the SDF-2 as well. I mean, I don't know what was left of Chiron's ship, but I'm assuming they're all probably mashed together. But that's interesting. It seems fitting though, because that's what they did at the end of Macross. Wherever the ships would go down, you would have a city kind of built up around it because, I guess the resources available inside the ship and shit like that. Really, really cool. But I think the star of the episode for me was the mechs. I was surprised by how much I dug them. There is a really cool aesthetic going on here, and it's definitely a design choice where each of like when Dana and all of them like jump onto their tanks initially, they look like knights. Like even their helmets, like with like the Valkyrie wings and stuff, look like, shining knights of the old, the round or anything like that. I love that approach to it because it's a really different type of approach, and obviously completely different property than we had, but different in a good way, different in a believable way. Like, okay, so these are in Atmo mechs. These are like Earth Defense Forces. These are Tactical Armored Squad 15, which presumes that they have quite a number of these things. But I love that. And I think their half mode is like half tank with like a biped type of thing is really cool. And then their full Guardian mode is badass. That great shot of Dana's chair like spinning down from the perch from the Guardian mode into the Battleoid mode. that sold me. That sold me. And then the head comes up and that was neat. I was 100% down with what they look like then. And so, I kind of like the idea too of this being kind of like a ground war. And I don't know if that's where it's going to go, but if these are mechs that are basically ground mechs as opposed, I don't know if they can fly. Maybe they can. I mean, they can obviously hover. I don't know what their range is. How high altitude wise can they go? But I like the idea of that. I like the idea of seeing like our forces, the humankind, the Robotech defense forces, like fighting a ground war, because that's really a lot of the first introductions that I had, that we all really had to Robotech with Macross was that fight in Macross City, where they're flying through the streets. I mean, hell, that was the intro bumper for the entire Macross saga. But, I always liked that, like the battle pods coming out of the water and like being inside the city and fighting, it felt like a kind of like a guerrilla conflict, where like a room by room type of clear, building by building. And it was really neat, ducking and covering and using alleyways to kind of like shoot the enemy and stuff. I think of the Miria and Max fight that we just saw Reactor in episode 37, them flying around and him like knowing the city well enough that he kind of cut her off. And as she flew by, he just absolutely riddled the shit out of the back of her mech. That's cool stuff. And that's stuff you can do in an environment that gives you those obstacles and that type of like, duck and cover type of fighting and stuff. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. I thought the fighting was very solid in this. I thought it was really solid. I thought that, it was tense. It had like this measure of like potential to it that was really cool because the way that the bioroids like flew on their chariot things, I can see where that mech or style of whatever they are, drone, robot, suited up Zentradi. I don't even know what these things are. I can see though where that style of combat unit will mesh really, really well with I guess we're going with hover tanks. You all please correct me with those. I don't know, like, we had Valkyrie for the Veritechs, and I'm not even sure if this is like a branch of Veritech. I don't know. Help me out, everybody. You all know so much about this show. I want to make sure I call these things the right, because my Swiss cheese brain. I called them the wrong thing 2 or 3 times, and then I'm always calling them the wrong thing. But I thought this was a really interesting way to get into it, and it was engaging. It was engaging to the point where I was nervous, everybody. I've been telling you, full disclosure. And I had a buddy who was like, I never even cared for that. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I like Macross and I never even watched which how can you care for it if but I digress. But, so I got kind of like, mixed messages about the Southern Cross, and I might completely feel different. I can just say that first impressions, I very much enjoyed it to the point where I am now calm about going into this. I don't feel concerned that I won't like it. I already like the initial offering. For me, that's half the battle. If I can see something and be like, oh, cool, this is interesting. I'm interested in this and that character and this plot point and that thing. I feel that with this. So I'm very, very happy. I think that, we're off to a great start. Let's see if we can keep that up. In the grand scheme of things, full disclosure, this is one of my favorite episodes of Robotech. Full stop. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and you'll be alerted next time we go live with Robotech or any of our Saturday morning React-Toons or Sci-Fi Fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to the Patreon is in the description, my friends. But all that's then, and this is now. And now it's time to say goodbye. So where should we say goodbye from, friends? We don't really know this world very well. I tell you where we should say goodbye from, friends. And this is a goodbye. This is a good bye. Let's say goodbye from that mound that they mentioned at Monument City, because we know it's there. We know the SDF-1. It's the final resting spot of that grand ship. But her story's done. And it's time for us to hear the story of humanity going forward and the new heroes that will champion that freedom. And friends, I'm excited, truly excited. Until we get to continue this tale, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.